touch. You got the touch.
This is Stan Bush, and this epic video from Optibotamus truly has the touch.
Coming with another video review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Autobot Ratchet, or as a lot of people, including myself, is really considering this guy, Dinobot 2. And the reason why I say that is because this is an absolute obvious homage to Dinobot 2 from Beast Wars. After the original Dinobot died and was brought back to life by Megatron, he was basically a Frankenstein-looking thing, and this is absolutely him, especially in his face. But beyond that, though, I mean, even his chest has that Dinobot 2 look. His weapon has the Dinobot look. I mean, you come around here to the back, that's Dinobot's weapon right there. I mean, it's absolutely uncanny, and that's one thing that I absolutely love about this figure. So very cool. Now, sticking on the front here, he does come with a spinning dragon shredder drill, or whatever. You got an image right here. You got his tech specs. You got other figures currently available. Well, Bulkhead, Dreadwing, and of course, Skystalker. Then you come around here to the back, you got his robot mode, his rescue vehicle mode, and then it says at the top, the dedicated Autobot scientist is through hiding in his lab. He's armored up and ready to take the fight to the Predacons. Alright, whatever. But this thing is so very cool. This was definitely a figure I was really looking forward to just because of that homage to Dinobot. Easily one of the most iconic characters in all of Transformers. But there's the packaging for him, so let's get him open and see how cool Ratchet actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Autobot Ratchet opened up and out of its packaging. And to be totally honest, no video would be complete without just doing a comparison right up front. I mean, you can see now, one thing that I will tell you is that I do have the Repro label stickers on here, and you can just see how much better this guy looks. Such a nicer looking figure. But again, they're basically taking the existing mold, or existing design I should say, and utilizing some newly molded pieces. There's a fair amount on here. His entire front grille section here, or roof and then grill section, that's all new. As you can see, you got the engine popping out, and then you got spikes going on here, which is really very cool. The side panel, or the side doors, the top roof, the windows, those all look identical to what we had before. This top section here, even going around here, that's all the same. Then when you come down to the side bits, the top section is the same, but the bottom piece where you're seeing this little triangular section right here, that's a newly molded piece, as well as the bottom section. The tires are exactly the same as well. And you come around here to the back, and I just love the fact that this has like a giant Batmobile engine thing here. But you can see that this whole back section is completely different. One thing that I think is really very cool is he doesn't come with these blades like the original one did, but one thing that's actually kind of cool is it almost looks like the blades have become part of him. I mean, you can kind of see where that's a similar looking design. I don't know if that was intended or if I'm just seeing things, but I think that's a cool little touch. Lately, I've been hitting my camera, so sorry about that, guys. But you can see, I mean, size-wise, they are basically the same. There really isn't all that much different. Now, when you get to the actual robot mode, and for some reason, I don't know why, but his head no longer stays down, which, I mean, it doesn't affect anything. It just sits there, but when you look upside down on the bottom section of it, Ratchet's head sticking out there. This one hasn't done that yet. And this is only something that I recently discovered, so that's really kind of weird. There is some more stuff that's designed differently on the new Ratchet. And it just looks funny. It looks like he's just a folded up bit of himself, so setting him off to the side. I mean, really, that's about it. I mean, I do love the way this guy looks. He does have a very Beast Wars 2, or I'm sorry, Dinobot 2 color scheme going for him, especially with kind of like this brownish little bit going on. So I do really appreciate that. And this is definitely a figure that I think people like me who really enjoyed Beast Wars, they're gonna appreciate this more. A lot of younger kids probably aren't gonna get the homage and probably aren't gonna enjoy this guy as much. This is the best Ratchet. There's no doubt about it. But for me, this is a wonderful Dinobot figure. Now, for his accessory, he does come with this spinny blade thing, and that's actually a kind of cool gimmick. You can see how it's got the swirl right in there, so that's really very cool. He does have the same holes that the original Ratchet had here at the top, but it also has these new holes here on the side, so you can put this on the side of him, and you can spin that. I don't know what purpose that would do because you can't really drill from the side or anything. He still has the holes here on the front, much like the original one did, but as I mentioned before, he doesn't come with those blades, so you can't put those in there, and then there's no way to, I mean, you could put it like that, but I mean, what would that do? You can also, it does say that you can put it up here, obviously, and do the thing, or you can put it here because this actually splits. You get to stick your fingernail in there, split that apart, and then you got like a little Gatling gun. And again, this is Dinobot's weapon. His tail came off and he had a spinning tail weapon, and that's another wonderful homage. So you can put that there, and then they actually say that you can spin this around, and okay, whatever. I personally just like this weapon because, again, it's like Dinobots, and that's so very fun for me. So just setting these off to the side. Now the transformation is identical, but it's still a bit of a pain in the butt, especially around here. You have to really kind of wiggle these, kind of loosen these up just like so, then come around here and pull the legs apart. Then fold the little feet down. I really, transformation on him is kind of a fiddly mess. Do that, fold these around, then position these feet like so, and then you're going to angle this, and this is a little bit of a pain in the butt. You gotta slightly pull and then bring this all the way down just like so, and then you got this little tab. It's kind of hard to see, but on the inside here, zoom in so that you can actually see what I'm doing. That little tab I usually just will slot inside right there just to kind of keep this back section down. Come around here to this leg, do the same thing, wiggle all of this out just like so, rotate these around and fold this down. You got a lot more junk here on his leg than in the original one, so it kind of gets in the way and hampers some stuff. So fold this down, kind of like I said, lock this in right on the side, and here you have his legs done. And again, you're seeing a little bit of a difference here with the way his legs look. Angling up here to the top so you can see what's going on. Then you want to loosen this, and this whole thing's a pain in the butt as well. Kind of wiggle, there we go. Wiggle it just a little bit, fold that down, wiggle that out, and then extend these out like so, and then swivel these down and around like so. Then bring this back, and that will release the revealer gimmick, which is his head, and there it is. Just tuck this all the way back and alongside his back section here. Fold out his hand there, take this, rotate this around, close that off, do that on this side as well. And unfortunately, this is very loose. I mean, you can see it doesn't really stay up there, and that really sucks. One thing that I am noticing, it doesn't necessarily appear to be like mold degradation, but it doesn't seem as secure as Ratchet. But here you have the Dinobot 2 version of Ratchet in his robot mode, and I really do dig this guy. He is so wicked cool. And before I go any further, let's take a look at the Tales of the Beast Hunters Chapter 13, continued from Chapter 12, Deluxe Class Skystalker. As you can see, we have the picture, as usual, of Autobot Ratchet in his Dinobot mode. You come down here to the bottom, and there's the Dragon Shredder Drill. It's an ancient tool usually used for some less delicate surgical procedures, but also good in a fight. Generates an anesthetic vortex that numbs and disables its targets, and the cannon fires pellets containing surgical nanorobots that can repair or disable a target. And then, much like everything else, we're coming down here to the little advanced bio, and it says Autobot Ratchet scowls at the data disks recovered from the Decepticon lab by Smokescreen. Most of them are useless, charred or cracked by the same plasma blast that had rendered the Autobot warrior himself nearly unable to return to base. But a few have shocking information on them. Information that not only reveals reveals much about the cloning process used to bring the Predacons back to life, but also about the secrets of the powerful new weapons recovered by Bumblebee. Ooh, of course, it doesn't say anything really about why he looks like Dinobot or anything, but you can see that it's continued with Chapter 14, Deluxe Class Dreadwing. One thing that I really kind of want to stress with this guy is that the colors are really not coming across as well on camera as I think they do in actual hand. It has a very kind of brownish color to him, which, as I said, is very reminiscent of the Beast Wars Dinobot 2 figure. You got the brown and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of how his toy was, and that's really where a lot of the inspiration, I think, comes from for this guy. That in his head also. I mean, it's very Dinobot looking. Zooming in so that you can see that, and I know white and white, very hard to see, so hopefully in my editing I'll be able to fix that up some for you. But you can totally see where that's a very I keep saying Beast Wars, a Dinobot 2 look. He's got the one eye, although I think the eye thing was on the opposite side. You got the hole here in his chest, which again, very similar to Dinobot 2's look. You got the same kind of coloration as well. And then one thing that I talked about before is that how in the original one he came with those blades. Now here it actually looks like it's well, that sucks. It actually looks like it's coming out of the side of his arm, which is really very cool. I love that touch. And then when you come down to the legs, you can see all the junk in there. As I was showing you during the transformation, all that extra kind of kibble there on the side really kind of gets in the way. It's not as clean as the original Ratchet, so things are kind of rubbing against each other. And that's really kind of annoying, but you can see again all the differences in the mold between this guy and the original RID Ratchet. And then for comparison, here you have him next to him. Now again, repro labels really has helped make this guy look a whole lot better. But you can see that the head is completely different. The shoulder bits are the same. The arms on the outer section here are different. You got a little bit slightly different top piece here. And honestly, I don't know if this gray crotch piece is different because repro labels put a sticker over that, so I don't remember exactly how that looked. But you can see that the thighs here are a little bit different. They got spikes, whereas this is a much smoother look. The little knee spikes here are the same, but then the shin, they are different. And like I said, you got the junk here on the side, where you have some junk here on this side, but it's not as cumbersome, I suppose. And then the feet themselves, the actual toes, are slightly molded differently. There's a little bit more detail put in this one. But this is a terrific figure, in my opinion. It's going to appeal to, like I said, the Beast Wars fans out there. And for me, it really, really does. Now, like I said, he does come with his weapon still that you got a hole here on the back. You can actually store it right there on his back if you really want to. Or you can have him hold it, which this arm, it's a little bit, well, it actually holds it up because it kind of rests on there. So you can have that going. You can do the drill thing, or just straight up. Sorry about that. My TV turned on for some spooky reason. So you can open this up and you can have Dinobot. I mean, that really, like I said, that just really looks like Dinobot if you ask me, and almost is a completely different character than Ratchet in my opinion. Now, for his articulation, getting this off of him, the head will rotate left and right. It is fairly stiff, at least on mine, so you want to be careful with that, but you can get some left and right movement. The shoulders here are on ball joints, so nice range of motion, in and out, all that stuff. They rotate, again, stiff on this. At the upper part of the bicep, he bends a little bit here above the elbow, but then he also has another elbow joint, so you can get a nice range of motion there. The wrists move forward and back, and then as you saw on this one, it's fairly loose. I don't know how I can actually tighten that. Oh, that's a little bit better if I maybe push that in, but it's still fairly floppy, so that really kind of sucks. He rotates here at the waist. He has articulation here at the hips. They move forward and back on ball joints. They also rotate here at the upper part of the thigh, bends at the knee, and then this, he actually technically has two joints here at the knee, but you're not going to get a lot of motion. And then the feet pivot forward and back, and then the heel, as part of the transformation, can pivot forward and back. So there is a good level of articulation in here, exactly the same that we got with Ratchet. It's just, for me, this is Dinobot, and it's absolutely cool. Like I mentioned before, the deluxe class bulkhead really kind of reminded me of Rhinox, and I actually saw somebody repaint the Beast Hunter Starscream and made him look absolutely like Pterosaur from Beast Hunters, or from Beast Wars. Wars. So getting another Beast Wars homage right here is so wicked cool. I absolutely love this guy. Now the transformation back form is exactly what we had with Ratchet. But again, it's a little bit of a fiddly kind of mess because some of the extra bits really kind of rub and get in the way. So it's not as fluid as Ratchet was. And saying that Ratchet's transformation was fluid was a bit of a stretch. So we're going to go ahead and put the head all the way down there. Lift this section up and bring that over the top like so. You're going to bend these arms here and then rotate this inside. Kind of a, there we go, get it inside like so. Do that on this side as well, and then you can see where the forearms here kind of slide inside the groove section. Then just open these little flaps up. We're going to rotate these down. Oh, I'm sorry, take the hands and actually rotate those down and around like so. Then rotate this around and bring it up here. And again, it's a bit of a fiddly kind of mess to line it all up. Give everything a nice little squeeze there. Do that. Ah, come on. Rotate around, you. It is a pain in the butt. There we go. And get that lined up. It's not too terrible, to be totally honest, but you're really kind of pulling things and kind of rotating around with a lot of stuff rubbing against each other, and it just makes it a little bit more of a cluster flub. Loosen this bit up, rotate this back up, do that on that side as well. Fold the feet down, you're going to rotate these around, kind of keep those up. Rotate that around, just like so. You're going to bring this back, and you want to get this little lip here on the roof underneath the ambulance lights. Kind of hook that in there like so. Again, pain in the butt. There we go. And I'm making this a whole lot more difficult than it really is, but it is a bit of a mess. Get this rotated. And then again, you're pulling on there, kind of fitting that, bring this down. Keep these wheels angled. Now you can, I'm sorry guys, I'm just struggling here. Bring those together, bring that together like so. Get the little tabs lined up in there. These didn't tab properly, and then rotate these back and under, and then make sure you have everything squeezed nice and tight. And here you have Ratchet back in his beast up version of his ambulance. And when it comes down to it, the Beast Hunter's Ratchet is probably going to be a very niche kind of figure to have. Not a lot of people are going to want to have him, I don't think. A lot of the appeal for this guy is going to come from older collectors that are really familiar with Beast Wars. Newer collectors of the franchise probably going to look at this thing and be like, that's not Ratchet. And they're right. I don't look at this and I see Ratchet. I look at this guy and I absolutely see Dinobot 2. And that's the appeal for me personally. So I do understand where a lot of collectors that are younger are not going to really like this guy. And that's perfectly fine. But he's still a really fun figure to have. The vehicle mode, I think, looks really cool. It's very Mad Max looking, very souped up, and very kind of Frankensteinish. The transformation is basically the same that we got with the RID Ratchet, but this one, it's a little bit more complicated because all these extra little jutting out pieces kind of get in the way of moving other pieces around. So the transformation is a little bit of a pain in the butt. But the robot mode is, for me, the best part on this guy. I have so much fun looking at him. I think it's a wonderful toy, and I absolutely highly recommend picking him up. Now this guy, as well as the rest of Wave 3 of the Deluxe Class figures, will be available at retail fairly soon. Or if you like, you can go to Big Bad Toy Store by clicking on the link down in the video description, and you can pre-order this guy, as well as the other Wave 3 figures. But beyond that though, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Keep in touch with me. Find out recent purchases, as well as all upcoming video reviews, all at facebook.com/TeamBotimus, and follow me over on Twitter at twitter.com/Optibotimus. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.
When we go and get rough.